Geek Tank Radio on 98.1 The Max.
Welcome, everyone. We are the Geek Patrol, and our microphones don't have a stun setting. I'm Joe Thorderson here with my buddy Brandon Olmstead, and I don't know where Max is again. He's 2 weeks in a row.
Look,
I know he's a busy guy. But
no, it has nothing to do with that. He has shirked all of his responsibilities. He's gotten rid of all of his worldly possessions, and he is now, walking across some Asian land, looking upon beauty and learning more of philosophy and life.
Yeah, he better come back enriched and smarter and more intelligent.
Yeah,
he better be bringing something back to the table when he gets back here.
I know his family. That's not going to happen.
Yeah. Hey, Brandon, speaking of being enriched, what do you think of this, man? Let's just do, both of us, I think, are going to do an on-air confession today, right?
Sure.
If we're being very honest, you and I have both been movie snobs. Is that fair to say?
I would say that I've gotten
points
a lot
of our life.
I would say that I've gotten really good in the past few years, but I used to be so snobby about my entertainment.
Like what's an example of that? I'm kind of,
Well, you got to think back. My memory's not what it used to be.
Well,
but there was a time where if you even remotely mispronounce Lando Calrissian, I would have gone on a 2-hour rant about how A, you don't know Star Wars, B, you don't love Star Wars, and C, you don't deserve Star Wars.
You're not a real fan.
But, I learned really early on that, I've got to get over that. Not everything that is made for anything is for me.
Yeah.
And ever since coming to the conclusion that I can find enjoyment in whatever cinematic thing I take in, and I will say I kind of came to that as penance for something I did horrible to you and Laura.
Oh, yeah. You should sell, because I know there's a lot of new listeners.
Okay, so guys, if you don't know...
this is way back in time.
There was a... Laura tried to put together a concerted effort to get us all to go see Terminator Genesis.
Hold on. We're talking 10 years ago, folks.
Yeah.
We had this, I'd call her an intern, Laura Johnson, one of our favorite people in the world.
I can't call her an intern because for a while there, she was a major part of the show.
No, at the moment, she wasn't getting any money out of this. She was doing it strictly
neither were
for
we.
the love of being on Geek Tank, and she's a great kid. We love her. She's, she's up in Chicago doing great. And but at the time, she was literally a college kid.
Right.
And she was great on the air, so we put her on for everything. And we did remotes. We did all sorts of stuff with Laura. She's awesome. So.
And there was a concerted effort. We were all going to go see Terminator Genesis together, and I was the only one who bought tickets for the showing. So I sat in a midnight showing of Terminator Genesis, thoroughly disgusted. And then I told Joe and Laura the next morning, it was so good.
Yeah, because we were going to go the next day and see it. And the thing is, Sarah Connor is her favorite action hero.
Right. Well,
hands down.
I think it's more towards Ripley now, but I think it's because that movie and later movies may have traumatized her.
Yeah, but Brandon, that was a pretty evil thing you did, because you told us what a great movie it was, and then we're sitting there watching it, and folks, it's pretty bad. It's got to be one of the worst Terminator movies, and I never trusted you after that.
No, and you shouldn't.
Yeah. So I guess my confession is that there's some movies that I just thought I'd be embarrassed to tell anybody I even liked this movie, back in the day. But then the truth is, I had a kind of I hate to keep bringing this up, but the Last Jedi was a life-changing experience for me, because you know how much I hated that movie.
I know how much you hated
everything
that movie.
about it bugged me. I was enraged for about 2 months, and then I got over it.
There was a point during that 2 months that even criticisms I had I was going to pretend they were the greatest thing, but I remembered what that got me last time.
Yeah, but then, but anyway, but then I had to re-examine, kind of like what you said about, well, you know what? Maybe it's my own expectations. I can't bring you can get a lot out of a film.
Yeah.
I mean, otherwise, how would Pee Wee Herman movies ever be blockbusters or things like that?
Well, I mean, they're fun. They were fun.
Right. But Brandon...
But you didn't expect anything serious from them. There was nothing to take serious.
Right.
It's like if you're watching a Pee Wee movie and he doesn't wear the gray suit at least at one point, then you might feel let down.
Right. And isn't that why a lot of people say even that Roger Corman Fantastic Four movie that was made just to keep the basically
to hold on
keep
to the rights,
copyrights is actually the most true to life. It's the most
true to the source material Fantastic Four movie that has ever been made.
And some people really like that movie.
And you know, story wise, it's actually really good. Visually and talent wise, it's not on par with what you're expecting from Marvel, but at the same time, I mean, it's a live action cartoon.
I sort of defend myself in one way only because I was brought up, you know, back in my day, and you're a little younger than me, Brandon, but you know, I mean,
a decade.
There were some. I mean, we had Amadeus, we had the Dead Poets Society, we had the Razor's Edge. Great. We had the Dances with Wolves. We had all these really just blockbuster movies, but they were really good and really profound and really well made and really thought provoking.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Yeah, they hold up. Not all of them do, but go watch The Razor's Edge.
I'm not going to go watch The Razor's Edge because I don't need 3 weeks of trauma afterwards.
Okay, but so those movies, like literally, I will even say The Breakfast Club. If you're a teenager, The Breakfast Club affects you.
Yeah.
It leaves an impact.
Right.
And so when you go watch a movie that's just full of just stupidity and bad editing and bad acting and whatever, I guess I sort of turn my nose up at that stuff, but
I kind of see where you're going with it.
Okay,
but at the same time, we watched Rubber.
That's a great movie.
That's a great movie. So you would have never thought it was a great movie if we weren't going to watch it for a Cinemassacast episode.
Right. But and I have to say, you know, doing Geek Tank with you over these years has given me sort of a new appreciation for how to approach movies and how to really, you know, see the good in a lot. And in some ways, when it comes to movies, you're kind of like Dumbledore. You have to see the good in everything.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, well, with that in mind, Brandon, I'm being very tempted to immerse myself in the Fast and Furious franchise.
I love the Fast and Furious movies.
So when we come back, Brandon's gonna give me the sales pitch on why I should do this.
Yeah.
You're listening to Geek Tank Radio on 98.1 The Max. The Geek Patrol is back.
And welcome back to Geek Tank Radio, everybody. I'm Joe Thorderson here with my buddy Brandon Olmstead. And if you're just tuning in, well, this is sort of an on-air confession. We're admitting to movie snobbery, right?
Movie snobbery.
Not anymore. I mean,
I think I'm pretty open to see anything nowadays.
Yeah. Unless, well, I mean, okay, yeah. I guess part of it is like, okay, am I going to spend my hard-earned money on that? No. But if it comes on streaming, maybe I'll watch it or something. But
Okay, so but you want the elevator pitch on why you should watch the Fast and Furious series.
Let me set this up too, Brandon, because here's the thing. I was watching Prime. You know those shows? Okay, they're called Icons Unearthed.
Right.
It's a pretty good series, folks. If you've never seen it, you get sort of the backstory. Even on Star Wars, you learn things that you didn't know before. But they were doing There's like one that's all about the Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
And I'm watching it, and I'm like, okay, I'm starting to gain a new respect for this franchise, and actually now I really want to see it. Partly because it looks like they do a lot of practical effects, which I respect.
Okay, so I'm gonna pull a Wayback Machine for a second.
Okay.
All right, and it's both a preview as well as a Wayback. There is a documentary coming out about Knight Rider.
Oh, and I want to see that.
I saw the trailer for it, and they showed like the 80s action TV series effects, you know, like the jump in the General Lee or Airwolf or any of those things. And what I think I loved the most about Fast and Furious is that the things they do with the cars, they do with the cars. Yes, there's CGI stuff later on I mean, there's
airplane or something.
Right, you know, but there is a level of like dedication that they put into doing practical stunts and effects in the first several.
Right.
And I think one of the biggest one is I think it's Fast 5 where they drag a vault through a city.
Yeah.
They did that. There's one where they're basically racing cars down the the side of a mountain on top of buildings.
Right.
They did that. They wrecked a S ton of cars doing that. And there's and the guys are doing their own stunts as much as they'll let them. I mean, come on.
They're all in, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
Vin Diesel and then Paul Walker, while he was, rest in peace. He seems like he was a great guy.
But, and then, of course, you got anything that goes on between Roman and Tez, which is Ludacris and Tyrese's characters, their buddy, dynamic is great because, well, they aren't exactly nice to one another, but, it's like, I'd die for you kind of thing.
You know what I noticed, and I haven't seen the movies yet, Brandon, and so you're going to have to talk me through because I think they're up to 10 movies, right? But
technically, there's 11 if you count Hobbs and Shaw.
Oh, right. That's
it's kind of like
spin-off.
Yeah, it's kind of like 8.5.
But
in the midst of everything.
But chemistry, it seems like these characters really have chemistry.
They really do. I mean, I don't think Vin Diesel is lying when he refers to them as family, but it might be because those are his only friends, and he's usually, from what I understand, outside of doing the movies, he's not exactly the nicest. He's a very stern father.
Is he? Okay.
But I mean, it's like every time that they bring a new character in or a new actor in, they find a way to weave them in perfectly. Whether they start off as a villain and become a hero, whether they are a villain straight through, whether, they have opposing views, but they have the same goal. It's a fun trip, but you can't take any of it seriously. If you go into it like, with the whole, well, all right, this is what I'm expecting. They're going to slap you in the face and you're going to feel like a fool.
But I don't think we get movies like this anymore, even though we're only talking 15 or so years ago, but they're not going to wreck buildings and blow up cars and stuff like that.
They did it, it's like, one of the CGI stunts is they jump a car from one building in Dubai into another building in Dubai. There's a lot of ridiculous stuff, but at the same time, there's a lot of stuff where, you go, there's no way they did that. And you find out they did that with practical effects. I mean, and as they bring the characters in, I mean, it's like the first movie is very serious. It takes itself too seriously for the concept it is. But at the same time, it's not that outlandish of a concept in the first one.
What is because it looks like it's just a lot of street racing.
It's a lot of street racing, but they're using the races and their skills as racers to rob convoys, rob trains, rob this. They're thieves.
Okay,
Paul Walker he's a Fed who has been put undercover to catch these thieves.
Do we know that, or did you?
Oh no, they let you know early on in the first one. He's a cop.
Wait a minute. So he's a cop that's infiltrated these guys?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but he stays with them the whole time.
Well, I can't without giving away his story arc. There's that point where it's like you say it's like, all right, I'll give you a 15-second head start.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that situation.
So is it a little Stockholm syndrome where he kind of comes to like the people he's tasked with?
He comes to respect them.
Okay. All right. It sounds good.
And he falls in love with the dude's sister. So.
Okay. Well, that's going to complicate things. But what I heard too is they said Paul Walker and Vin Diesel actually went to street races they just went.
Yeah,
they showed up in L.A. and the cops showed up and there were helicopters and they were running down an alley to get away and everything. But they kind of studied the actual street racing culture or something. Yeah. I think that's cool.
It's really cool, and there's something about that series of movies where I genuinely think these actors who come into it. All right, do you remember how we always heard the stories? It's like, I don't care what you do with me. I want to be in Star Wars. I can be a stormtrooper. I can do this. I can do that. Yeah. It eventually got to the point where people wanted to be a part of these movies, and it's like you get The Rock and John Cena and. Both Luke Evans and Jason Statham, Charlize Theron, Brie Larson.
Some pretty serious people in there. So, and it's kind of reminded me of that the '66 Batman where everybody wanted to come on,
right?
Even, so all right. Well, so there's I don't know, man. There's something to be said for this kind of movie making, and we'll continue to talk about it when we come back here on Geek Tank Radio.
You're listening to Geek Tank Radio on 98.1 The Max. The Geek Patrol is back.
And welcome back to Geek Tank Radio, everybody. I'm Joe Thorderson here with my buddy Brandon Olmstead. And if you're just tuning in, well, we're having an on-air confession about our history of movie snobbery. Film snobbery. Thinking we're too good for certain movies. Yeah. I'll admit it. I've felt that way about certain franchises, which is kind of funny to me though, Brandon, because I'm just thinking of all the times, my wife walks into the living room and I'm watching like Thor or something like that, or a Batman cartoon. And it's like,
audible.
Hey, quiet. The Joker's about to do.
How audible is her scoff as she walks back out of the room once you've quieted her?
Right, or I got to pause it because you interrupted me right at the pivotal moment the Riddler was about, But with that in mind, I'm finding myself intrigued and interested in watching the Fast and Furious franchise, and you've been kind of giving me the lowdown. You said the first two movies. The first two movies
are they're definitely set up. They take themselves a little too seriously, but that's action movies in general. The third one kind of steps outside of the norm. It's a completely new environment, and none of the characters you're familiar with are in there.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it keeps it fresh, I guess.
Right, but it plants seeds for later movies once you've gotten back to the family. It's I don't want to give anything really away. I mean, you could find spoilers everywhere, but at the same time, I kind of want you to go in and have this nice and almost pure experience watching them. And yeah, there will be times when you find yourself, like doing your full on cackle laugh.
Yeah.
Because not necessarily because the part was funny, but because it was ridiculous.
Well, that's the thing. It gives me vibes of the Blues Brothers. I mean, I can't remember what the grand total was, but I want to say they destroyed 300 cars in that movie.
I would not doubt it.
And it was all live. I mean, it was real.
Yeah,
they
practical
wrecked that
effects.
mall. They ruined everything. So that's fun stuff. But anyway, well, Brandon, there's other movies.
Well,
we've opened our mind to.
Yes, there are a lot of movies that I have seen that I would have normally never even given a second glance. And then once I sit down and start watching, I'm like, why did I ever think that this was not a good idea?
Yeah.
And I'm going to go with one that we both seen and we both really enjoyed. And most people in the world didn't see it, and it flopped hard. And that's Better Man.
You probably even got to set it up.
Right,
I bet a lot of people haven't even heard of this.
So there's been this joke that's running with Robbie Williams. Now, Robbie Williams was one of the founding members of Take That, which was a British boy band.
Yeah. From the 90s or
I want to say the 90s. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
And him and Gary Barlow, who was their lead, never really got along. Robbie was the troublemaker. Robbie was the bad boy. Robbie got kicked out of the band.
Yeah.
And I think he has one big hit in America, and that's Angel.
Which I think is a goofy song. I don't even like it.
It is a goofy song, but I remember it on the radio. But outside that, he's got he was actually had a meteoric rise in Europe, and when it came out, it's like the movies showing the trailer. It's like he's always said that he's a little less evolved than the typical person,
right?
And so in his biopic, he is portrayed by a CGI monkey.
Yeah, he's literally a person with a monkey face and monkey. He's a human sized like chimpanzee.
Yeah.
Which sounds stupid, and it shouldn't work.
It shouldn't work,
and it should look
and
hokey,
I think that,
but it actually works really good.
But I think that's why so many people. Well, first of all, he wasn't popular enough to have a breakaway hit biopic in the States anyway.
Yeah.
And they only made like a quarter of their budget back. The budget was like 110 million, and they made like 22 million back, something right around in there. But I think that American audiences saw that and said, well, this is stupid. And, I will admit that was the first thing that popped into my head when I saw the first trailer for it.
Yeah, that's what I thought, too, because I saw the trailer. I'm like, I'll skip this one. And
then it hit Amazon Prime, and I'm like going, all right, It's free on Prime. I got 2.5 hours to kill before I have to be somewhere. Let me do this thing.
Right.
And yeah, I was like, once it starts, I'm like, I'm there. And afterwards, I'm like going, everybody needs to see this movie.
So here's the thing too, because the director is the one that made The Greatest Showman.
Yeah.
Well, that's no small. I mean, that's pretty big street cred.
And at the same time, think about it. Did any of us want to go see The Greatest Showman when we first heard about it?
Yeah,
it's
about Barnum and Bailey, whatever.
It's like okay.
But anyway, Better Man shouldn't work. I mean, literally, it's a guy being portrayed as it's him. He even changes hairstyles. He changes clothes.
Yeah.
He's portrayed as a real person, but he looks like a giant chimpanzee the whole time.
Like he hasn't evolved, and he.
Yeah. But I think, Brandon, if the CGI wasn't so good, it wouldn't work at all. Or if they had a guy dressed in a monkey suit.
Right, or prosthetics or something like that.
But, I mean, whoever did the CGI, every little facial feature, the way
every facial tick, everything. And of course, when they have that thing at the very end where it shows him doing the thing, but then, in the credits, they show that same concert footage of him there, and you see that they've just kind of like mapped it over him.
Right.
It was a really interesting movie, and I should have given it more chance. There were a couple of more movies that came out that year that I was just like, no, I'm not going to watch this. But then when it would hit Peacock or it hit Prime Video or Paramount Plus, I'd watch it and I'd be like, why didn't I go see this?
But I got a question about that, Brandon, because I think Better Man still has the possibility of becoming a cult classic. Like eventually, I think people are going to catch up and find this movie. Yeah. I mean, it's free on Prime. If you have Amazon Prime, you can watch it now. I would highly recommend it. It's got a couple parts in there maybe the kids shouldn't see or whatever. Yeah, because it's whatever. Because when he becomes involved in drugs.
I mean, when you think about a boy band horror story for a biopic, there's going to be some not safe for the youngins material in there.
But it's a great movie, folks. Trust us, it's really good. So check out Better Man over on Amazon Prime.
You're listening to Geek Tank Radio on 98.1 The Max. The Geek Patrol is back.
And welcome back to Geek Tank Radio, everybody. I'm Joe Thorderson here with my buddy Brandon Olmsted. And Brandon, it feels good to confess things on the air and to admit and to feel like we're growing. We've admitted
we're growing as people.
We've acknowledged our movie snobbery in the past. And hey, I'll be honest, you and I, I'm about to take a deep dive into the Fast and Furious franchise, which I never thought I'd want to, but I don't care. It looks fun.
Hey, all I know is that once you do. We're going to step back and we're going to do a Beyond the Tank on your journey.
Yeah.
And we'll see. We'll see if you make it through the whole saga.
Yeah, I hope I will. But then we were talking about Better Man, which is really a unique movie. It was really unexpected, and I'll be honest, I didn't pay any extra to see it. I saw it on Amazon Prime. I still think in the future this could become a hit once people actually give it a try. It's a good movie.
I would like to, think that could happen. But again, you're still going to have to convince people to watch a movie about a CGI monkey joining a boy band and then becoming a star on his own.
You know what, folks? If you want to get past any trepidation, just go on YouTube and watch the video. It's like a 3-minute video for "Let Me Entertain You." With that, and you'll be hooked. That's my favorite part of the movie.
I know, but you don't want to spoil that. You don't want to spoil that. That is such an epic moment in the film.
Right, but that might convince you that okay, this movie's got something to offer. Yeah. But hey, Brandon, now it's funny because when we talk about movie snobbery, now look, I'm just going to say right out of the gate,
okay,
I really respect and I like Christopher Nolan.
Okay,
but let's be brutal and honest here. So that the trailer for the Odyssey came out.
Right.
And were you turning cartwheels after you saw this?
Can I be
here in the build-up?
All right. So we're confessing.
Yeah, let's do.
Can I be completely honest?
Yeah.
All right. So I've been paying attention to the lead up. I love the cast. I love the material.
It's a big cast. I mean,
didn't watch the trailer because I'm not excited about Christopher Nolan movies anymore.
Wait, you can't even watch a 3-minute trailer?
I mean, I could, but I have no interest in going and seeing a Christopher Nolan movie.
Okay, well, why is that? That's because I was going to analyze the trailer.
So here, well, I mean, and we can do that here, but my thing is that I've gotten so used to Christopher Nolan making epic films, and when I've seen a Christopher Nolan movie, I've typically liked them, except for Tenet. But my first
that was too confusing.
My first viewing of Tenet was at the drive-in, and so it's not like you can pay attention when that you got like kids over here watching some other movie and they're screaming and yelling. But I mean, it's the best way to go, or it used to be the best way to go watch a movie as a group, outside of just sitting in your living room and watching it on streaming. I know the Oppenheimer story. I never watched Oppenheimer. I never sat down and watched the movie.
I didn't either because I thought it'd be too depressing. I mean, the nuclear bomb's about as depressing of an invention in. And again, I
love everybody in that cast. I couldn't get excited for it because Christopher Nolan is known for making epics. But when was the last time he actually did something that broke new ground and did something different?
Okay, let me ask you because you're making me think about that. Is The Prestige an epic movie or is that more of an indie artsy? That's the last one I got really excited about.
I think once you watch The Prestige and you come out of it, you feel that even though it is a smaller scope, it feels epic.
But it's okay. I'd say it's an intimate story. It's small group of people.
100%, 100%.
Maybe that's the route.
It's a very intimate film, and no actual shade to Christopher Nolan. He makes good movies.
Yeah,
but. And I'll see the Odyssey when it's like on streaming or somebody I know has a copy of it, but I don't have any interest to go and see it in the theaters. And again, it's just because as much as I would love to get excited for a Christopher Nolan movie, I don't. I'm Denis Villeneuve is the same way. I've seen the trailer for Dune 3. I'm not going to see it in the theaters.
Really?
I'm going to see it at home.
I thought we all liked Dune.
I do, but at the same time, the things that are getting me excited to go to the theater, it's like, I'm going to go see Mandalorian and Grogu because I think it's going to be fun and goofy and all. But for this theater experience, I really have this point where it's like, it has to be something different, something that's not what you expect from Hollywood. If Christopher Nolan was doing a hour and 45-minute animated film, man, I'd be there in a heartbeat because it's not what he's known for.
Okay, so you're kind of... I'm going down that path too, where I want something different. That's why I watched Better Man.
Right, I'm looking for something new and different and outside the norm. It's why Iron Lung kicked so much butt in the theater, is because it basically thumbed its nose up at the Hollywood norms.
Yeah. What about that K-pop Demon Hunter? That shouldn't have been so good.
It shouldn't have been, but it was. And, I just watched Swapped with Michael B. Jordan. It's a little animated feature where, these creatures that are animals, part animal, part fauna. I mean, or part flora. It's like the birds have leaves for wings. The deer have tree limbs for antlers. There's a fire wolf.
Right.
It's just a cute little kids movie that actually is really deep, but it was something different. So I sat down and watched it. Goat. It's one of the reasons why the Zootopia movies, get me all excited. And it's like Weapons, was not your kind of movie, but it was a different horror style. Those are the kind of movies that are dragging me to the theater. He-Man's going to take me, but that's because I'm a nostalgic little kid at heart, and it's probably going to be horrible. But I'm going to go see it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it has to have a different hook, and maybe that's what it is about the Odyssey. I'm like, well, we've seen Odyssey movies before, and honestly,
we've all
the one
read
with
it.
Brad Pitt, I think that actually still holds up. That's different, right? That's Troy, but it's the same era.
Well, I have my own issues with Troy, but that's a completely different ball of worms.
The bigger question is, he's doing the whole thing on IMAX, and this has got to be expensive, and it's a big cast, and is it possible this thing's going to bomb?
Oh, it's going to flop. It's going to flop hard because you can't put that many entries into an IMAX theater and turn the profit he needs.
I think maybe he just needs to go back to making small movies. So, but anyway, all right. Well, Brandon, the show's over. We got to get out of here. So until next week, we are the Geek Patrol, and I am Joe Thorderson,
and I am Brandon Olmsted, imploring you to search out the new and weird and strange.